Hello everyone, my name is Clayton Dalton with Bear Creek AI. Today I'm going to be showing you how to revolutionize the way you do calculations with AI using knowledgeXpert and our app creator tool. In a previous video I've shown you how to create a basic app manually, and this video we're going to be creating a more advanced app using some AI tools to automate the creation process. So let's get started. So I'm at the knowledgeXpert page, knowledgeexpert.bearcreek.com, and I've started a new chat. I've selected GPT 4.1, but if you're willing to take a bit more time, selecting GPT 5 will probably yield a better result. For this process, we may also want to select a knowledge base that we'd wish to pull from. We can select automatic as default, the web, or some other sources. I'm just going to leave it on automatic right now, as we're just trying to show the process and not necessarily any particular one. So let's get started. Ask me anything. The first thing you need to know is that this agent, knowledgeXpert's agent, has a tool embedded for creating apps. And so if we ask it to create an app, it will do that, but we need some inputs first. So let's brainstorm a little bit. The first thing when we're creating an app is we want to retrieve information about what an app is, or what values we need for that app. So in today's case, let's write this, okay? I want to create an app. I think the app should be a beam deflection calculator with many complex inputs and outputs, sources, special instructions, etc. Right? I'm just going to kind of make this a little more complicated than it needs to be to show you the benefits of doing it in this way. So then we ask the question, okay? The question is, find what inputs and outputs, calculations, etc. I need to create this app. Okay, great. Not a perfect prompt. We actually will have some pre-generated prompts for you to use in the future. In this case, this is just an offhand prompt I've written, okay? All right, so inputs required from user. Beam type, simply supported, cantilever, fixed, continuous. That's a good question. The beam length, obviously, units. Cross-sectional shape and dimensions, perfect material properties, Young's modulus, moment of inertia, load types, load magnitudes, support conditions, unit systems. Optional or advanced inputs are on multiple loads, temperature effects, beam self-weight, custom load. Okay, right. Outputs are going to be maximum deflection, deflection at specified points, shear force diagram. Okay, great. This is wonderful. Calculations are using standard beam theory equations, Euler-Bernoulli, for small deflections, superposition for multiple loads. Right, looks good. And what we would want to do here is we would want to pull this from a knowledge base that has this information in it. In this case, I am not an expert on beam deflections. But I am an engineer, and so I want to do this calculation, and I want to see what the output looks like. So let's do this. Let's refine this a little bit. Let's do a refining step. Let's select web search from knowledge selector, and let's say use. We don't even say use the web because we've already selected. So let's just say refine what is needed for this app using the web. Okay, that's just a very broad question, but let's just refine that a little bit. Get some more detailed information based on leading online beam deflection calculators, which is good. It's made some changes, great. So this is an example of how the changes might happen whenever we have more based information. Okay, that looks good. So how do we go about creating this app? Well, it's really simple. Once we have the inputs and the outputs, that's really all we have to do is say create the app. But what's really important to realize is that if I've missed something here, then that's going to be reflected in the app. There's not an in-between stage. And so we want to really make sure that we get these correct, go through with our own knowledge and be able to say, hey, we want it this, we want it like that, etc., and refine that in the chat, right? But let's assume that all of these are correct and we're ready to go ahead. Let's do this, okay? Go ahead and create that app for me. Now, occasionally, this will prepare the app instead of actually creating it. And in that case, we may have to give it another step to actually create the app. But in this case, we've made a mistake. This is great on-the-job training right here. And the mistake we've made is that web search is still selected. So we actually need to deselect web search. That way when we select web search, it only has access to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to revert it back to automatic so it still has access to the full list of tools. So let's copy and paste that again and correct our typo right there. All right, now we've created it. Okay, so again, sometimes it will prepare the app and not actually create it, and if that's the case, we'll have to give it one more command. But let's see what the response is. All right, again, yeah, that's a mistake I made there. It's an easy one to make. Just make sure you deselect all knowledge bases before doing this. So automatic selection should be the only one selected. If you do have something selected, you can deselect it by clicking the little X right up there. Okay, your beam deflection calculator app has been created. So this is good. It says use create app with JSON, right? So this means that the app was created, so we don't have to give it another step. And it says it'll guide the user through entering beam and load details, calculate deflection, share moment diagrams, provide visualizations and references to engineering standards. Great. Let's go look at that. We can go to manage apps here and see we have a beam deflection calculator. If we go to date and we sort it by most recent, we have beam deflection calculator at the top. And we have so many details here that it would take us so long to input manually if you saw the previous video. So let's look through some of these things. Let's click edit so it's a little easier to read. We have a description, a welcome message, prompt, your beam deflection calculator and expert assistant. Use the following structured inputs from the user. Gives all the units, calculate and provide. Output is this, conditional logic. And then we have our sections, input, calculations, output, and references. And we can look at these. These all come from the AI system to input these, right? Beam type and special instructions. See, we're giving some options. So beam type is a little ambiguous. We can have special instructions to say, okay, we want simply supported, cantilever, continuous, fixed. Here are options, right? Pick one of these. Beam length, specify and selected units, cross-section shape, example. So, right, so you can see the point that this would take forever to create manually. And so using this automatic creation is super powerful. And then we can go in and we can fine tune. If we don't like something here, we can change the order of things. We can change maybe just a slight bit on the special instructions, remove a field, add a field, etc., etc., etc. Looks good. Calculations, again, calculations, output, looks good. And references, an engineering handbook / standard. So we say, what do we use to calculate this? Save, and then we've not made any changes, but we can go view this app. And we can see, here's our welcome message, and then our start command. Welcome to Beam Deflection Calculator. Please specify your preferred units, US Imperial or SI metric, right? And then on the right side, we see our document with our full input section here. Nothing's provided yet because we haven't inputted. Calculations, output, and we can run through this app just like we did the basic app, but with a lot more inputs, a lot more calculations. And while we're doing this, if we need to do a web search, if we need to search our knowledge bases to draw some of this information out, we can. Or if we know it off the top of our heads, we can do that too. But either way, the AI will walk you through in a repeatable manner. You can do this calculation with a new app document as many times as you need to. You can save it to a knowledge base. You can save it locally. And you always have this chat here as a system of record for the calculations you performed for your project. So I hope this was helpful and helps you see how easy it is to create apps with the automatic tool, but then how you can use the manual method to fine-tune and tweak as needed. Can't wait to see how you guys utilize this to revolutionize the way you interact with AI. I appreciate your time. Thanks again.